Hello. Hello.
Hello.
All right, good evening. So today, last week, we had several questions toward the end that I said I was going to try to research and get back to you with. So we had, I just jumped right in. This is Aki. He's another one of the energy advisors at Eco Birmingham. And he's with me here today. So we will be looking at grants and other support, but the questions from last week had to do with domestic wind turbines, solar panels selling to the grid, drilling for water, and the household support fund. The household support fund, we will talk about that later on tonight. Domestic wind turbines. Yes, they are legal, but they do need planning permission for even the smallest of the turbines. And they're not yet at the scale where it will make that much of a difference. So best case scenario, it'll generate about 15-20% of the energy that you will use in the house. But it does cost, the current cost of the wind turbines, $7,000 to $8,000 is what I was coming up with. I did see some off of eBay that were like $2,000. But I don't know what the safety standards would be that high on those ones. But yes, it's legal, but maybe not that practical. Selling electricity back to the grid. Yep, I'll move over here. So it depends on who your provider is and what the tariff is. But for those who do have solar panels that want to sell energy back to the grid, or if you're thinking of getting solar panels, this is what each company will pay you. Again, it depends on the tariff that you're on. Octopus is anywhere from 5 to 30p. Some of them here, British Gas, Good Energy, EDF. EDF, it could be as much as 15 or as little as 3. And then everyone else was 4p or less. So solar panels, great for your own usage. If you've got the means and capacity, I would suggest putting a battery with it so that you can use all of the energy that the panels are generating. But if you don't have a battery, if you can't get that, these are the companies that will pay you a good bit more for the energy that's being produced. And then last was the drilling for water. And if we thought the domestic wind turbines were expensive, this is even more so. So yes, it is legal, but there are so many loops you have to jump through. You need to hire a geologist, you need a geological survey, a hydrologist to drill the borehole and check quality and quantity of the water. You need to get the environmental agency to approve it, planning permission, a borehole license. I couldn't find a specific price for it, but it's going to be at least 5 figures. On the higher end, potentially 6. So yes, it's feasible, but we'll call that a worst case scenario. All right, so moving from that to the grants and support. So what is available for us now? We will, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going to send all of what I'm sharing today to Dr. Kim so that he can share it with all of you. Because there are links that are on this PowerPoint. So if you believe that you are eligible to apply, you can just click straight on the link and go from there. But the ones that we're talking about today, boiler upgrade scheme, Eco4, Great British Insulation Scheme, which is more or less finished, but I'll still tell you about it. And then Warm Homes Local Grant, Household Support Fund, and then I've got 3 more here at the bottom as well that we'll speak about also. Have you heard of any of these?
I heard about the household support.
Okay. Yep.
when they tell me somewhere to go,
Mhm.
and I didn't bother, I say, how to go, then I didn't bother, that's all I had about.
Okay, yep.
Warm discount.
Warm discount, okay.
I get that one home discount from my ear supplier, because straight away they say you're eligible, they give me straight away.
Okay, yeah.
They deduct about my bill.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so these last three, the warm homes discount, the cold weather payment, and the winter fuel payment, they are things that will be given to you automatically if you are eligible. All right, so the first one is the boiler upgrade scheme, and this one is probably the most straightforward. It sort of is what it says on the tin. If you've got a gas boiler, or a few other things that are considered, it does like oil and a few other things as well. But it's a way to get a new, usually it's an air source heat pump, but a new way of heating your home. And it will give 7,500 pounds off of the entire installation and purchase price. It very much depends on the size of your home, what the cost of getting like an air source heat pump is. This won't cover all of it, but it will cover, in most cases, it'll cover most of it. So it's an incentive to get people off of old gas boilers onto air source heat pumps. The reason for that, well, there's a few reasons for it. First, air source heat pumps run on electricity. Electricity in the UK is much better for the environment than the gas boilers. Air source heat pumps are also 4 times more efficient or effective than even the best gas boilers. So each heating system comes with a specific score of how efficient it is. Gas boilers, the best of them, are 90%. The air source heat pumps range anywhere from 300 to 500%. So they are much more efficient. You get a lot more heat for the energy that you're using. But at the moment, electricity is a little bit more expensive than gas. So it's a little bit, at the moment, it's a little bit swings and roundabouts as far as the amount that you pay for energy, if it's 4 times more efficient heat pump as opposed to a gas boiler. But with all of the effort that's going into renewable energy sources, renewable energy, a lot cheaper than firing up a gas plant. So gas will continue to rise, especially with the way things are globally. Gas is going to continue to rise. Electricity will eventually come down. We're not there yet, but it will happen. So boiler upgrade scheme covers $7,500 on an air source heat pump. The next one is Eco4. So this is something that is mostly for insulation. In some cases, it can upgrade heating as well, but it's almost always insulation. And there are obviously these specific eligibility criteria. If you've got an EPC ratings are, EPC stands for Performance Certificate. Energy Performance Certificate, there you go. And they are good for, I believe it's 10 years. So if you've had one done in the last 10 years, it'll tell you if you're E, F, and G, those are the 3 worst ratings. So if you've got a lower EPC, then you could qualify for Eco4. There has been a lot of, I'll call it bad publicity for the Eco4 scheme because of the insulation measures that have been done. I think I've talked about it here before, but it can cover external wall insulation, internal wall insulation, cavity wall insulation, and loft insulation. For the Eco4, the amount of money given to the contractor is not enough to do the external wall insulation properly. So there's been a lot of issues with damp and mold and things just not done properly. So it's up to the contractor what they say you need. If they would say external wall insulation, I would just sort of back away at that point, because it's not going to be done properly and it will just cause more harm than good. But any of the other ones should be okay. And again, I think I talked about this, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, somebody had asked about people coming up to them, like knocking on doors, saying that they were a part of the Eco4 scheme. There has been some fraud with that, not a lot, but there has been some. So I would say if you haven't applied for it yourself, you probably don't accept anything that people knocking on the door are going to be saying. Another one of the grants here is the Great British Insulation Scheme. The deadline to apply was the end of October, but there are still some cases where you can still apply based on who your energy company is. But it does, again, cover one insulation measure. And then the Warm Homes Local Grant. So this is something that is based on, it can be based on income, but it's also based on your postcode as well. And I don't know of any that have happened around here. That doesn't mean that it's not available to you, but the people that I'm aware of have been more in the north of the city who have gotten this. But you apply, again, I've got the link here, we'll send that round. To be eligible, you've got to have a home in Birmingham that's privately owned, a lower EPC rating, and a household income under 36 a year. The ones that I have seen have actually been solar panels. I've seen 2 homes, again in the north of the city, that have gotten actually free solar panels through this grant. So something to be aware of. You just apply through this link, and then the council will get back to you in a few weeks' time on whether or not you apply, or whether or not you're eligible. The next one is the Household Support Fund. So this is support that's available for several different things. Energy is one of the things that it's available for, but you can also get other essentials as well. It's something that you can apply for a certain amount of time, and then they close the application, and then they'll give it a few more months, and they'll reopen the application for a couple of weeks' time, and then they'll close it again. They did just open the application for it last week, but you could be on a waiting list for quite some time. So again, you can apply on this link, which we'll send around. For the other 3 that we talked about, Warm Homes discount, it's a one-off 150 pounds on the electricity bill. And it is something that the electricity supplier will just put directly on your account. So you don't have to specifically apply for it. But if you feel like you should get it and haven't, then you can contact your electricity supplier, but it's usually something that's automatically on your bill, or taken off your bill rather. So cold weather payments, again, if you're eligible, you get these automatically, but for these, it's based on the temperature actually. So if the temperature is under a specific threshold for several days in a row, then they'll start giving out these payments. And it's, yeah, 25 pounds for each 7-day period of very cold weather between November and March. And if it's cold for 7 days, it's at 25 pounds. If it continues, it's 25 more pounds for each day of that very cold weather. All right, and another one is the winter fuel payment. This is something that the government took away and then added back and then took away and then added back to some people. So it's a specific amount of money that you can get if you're of a certain age here. So 22 September 1959, if you're born before that, you're eligible for this. Again, it should come to you automatically. If you feel like, you know what, I have an income that's under that threshold, I'm born before then, I still haven't seen it, then contact your supplier. Yeah, you should get a letter, or have already gotten a letter perhaps, in the next week or two. And then if you are eligible, you should be getting it in the next couple of weeks. Any more questions on some of that information?
You know, the household grant,
Yes.
there is some places they say, if you go there, they'll help you to apply. But in any other place, rather than going through the kind of online.
Yeah, so places that you go to apply, they will just be going through this link as well.
Okay.
But there are places that you can go if you don't have access to the link or access to a computer. There are places that you can go to get that. Yeah. Good.
So you're starting from November, this one, 10th of November, till 4 weeks time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just opened 10 November. You do have to apply for it. Once you apply, then you're contacted in 4 weeks' time. But they will, I think it's just based on how much the people who are managing this application can handle. So they'll take X amount of applications, but they haven't said what that amount of applications is. They've just said, we're gonna open the application again, but we don't know how long it's gonna be open for. So probably sooner the better, and then it could take up to 4 weeks before you hear anything back. Yeah. Good. Anything else? Okay. So this was the 5th week. We've got 6 total. And for the last one, I want to make sure that I can cover anything that you would have wanted this to cover that we haven't got to. And sort of figuring out where to go from here. What are some next steps? And do you feel confident that you have the energy understanding to make energy efficient choices for yourself and for those in your network as well? So what would be, I guess, what would be most helpful going forward? If anybody has any ideas.
See, in the next week, which topic he should cover? I would like you to cover more about the, regarding the dumping and smoke and things
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
So that was good for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So a little bit more with damp and mold and how it sort of interacts with insulation. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
because especially this winter time, cold weather, everybody, a lot of people suffer actually
Yeah.
with that, with the humidity and all these things, with raining and all this, then it becomes very humid and so a lot of people suffer.
Certainly. And again, I want to do more than just give you interesting, or maybe not interesting, information for 20, 30 minutes at a time. I want to be able to help you to take this information and be able to use it for your own home, and then also be able to share with others. You hear a friend complaining about some of their damp and mold issues, and you can say, have you considered doing X, Y, and Z? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yep. And yeah, as Aki just said, we do home visits as well. So if you have further questions about your own specific home, then it is something that we can do. We can come out to sort of assess where your home is, what might be some good priorities going forward. We're happy to do that. It's a couple of weeks lead time, but yeah, it's something that we're happy to do. But at the same time, we want to be able to empower you to do it as well. So we'll do it, but maybe we'll talk. We won't dumb it down as much as what we might do otherwise. So yeah, just wanting to help you to be able to make those decisions yourself, and then help others too as well. But yeah, we can do that too.
About insulation, the house, what is needed, house insulation, how do I know? Because I put my heater 21 7.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Automatic.
Yep.
So what is my house needed insulation? How do I know? Because I need house insulation. When I call it, I'm in Jalen, I say I need insulation. So when they say what type of insulation they want, so what are we talking?
Yeah. So I think we had talked, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that because of when your house was built, you wouldn't be able to have the cavity wall insulation because it's something where there's brick, space, brick. And your specific home doesn't have that type of build. So that leaves you with either external wall insulation, which is, it's really good when done properly. These grants aren't enough for it to be done properly. So if you're on an income, that might not be the best way forward. Internal wall insulation is another one that is pretty good. It will do just as good of a job as far as keeping the cool air out and the warmer air in, but it does mean that you're losing some space inside your home. Because it is, an inch or two all the way around your home that is, that it's getting, you're losing it because that's going to be insulation now. So there's some positives and negatives to that. There's also floor insulation is something else that you can do, and loft insulation. And most or all homes will have loft insulation in them right now. But if it was done even 30 years ago, the loft insulation is now what they say is the industry standard, is now actually over double what it was 30 years ago. And if you've had it done 30 years ago, it will start to fade a little bit as well. So loft insulation is a good one, because if you think about it, we know hot air rises. The loft insulation is just something to keep that warm air in your home rather than letting it just fly out. Good. I know last time I forgot to bring these flashcards on dampened mold, so I did bring them this time around. And I also have a few left over for paying bills and easy ways to save energy. I've got a few more of these Energy Champion pins. And also, just as a way to prove to funders that I've done what I say I've done, if some of you could fill out just a 8-question form, that would be great. I'm not going to make any of you do anything, but it helps me. And then, yeah, if you do have any other questions, please let me know. We will send this around with the links so that you can apply yourself in your own home, because I know some people might not want to say if they're under a certain income threshold, or if they're, maybe you don't know if what your home's EPC rating is. So it's a lot easier from our standpoint if we just give you the tools to be able to do it yourself in your own home.
Some of the funds it was mentioned, there is PWP or?
Yeah, that was the Household Support Fund. Yep.
Yeah, so what does it mean by DWP?
Department of Work and Pensions is what that is. Yep. And it is, yeah, it's for those who are currently in some sort of financial need. But again, if you believe that that might apply to you, and I don't believe they've set a specific threshold for that other than if you feel that you are in sort of, some sort of financial need, then that's the link for you.
Just to add on to that DWP, so if you're on universal credits, if you're on pension credit, you're eligible. If you're in arrears on the council tax, you'll be eligible. Any sort of support that you're getting from the Department of Work and Pension, you'll be eligible. I think primarily it's the universal credits that everybody's on, as well. So any kind of support that you get from the government, you'll be eligible for the £200 HSA.
Is there any funds for the charities, for example, for the mosque, place of worship, to keep them warm in the winter especially?
Yeah, is there any grants for the mosque?
Yes.
Covered by community, something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any charities or a community or place of worship?
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. It's not something that I tend to deal with. But there is someone that I work with pretty closely, who does do that sort of a thing for community centers, for places of worship. So I'll get in contact with him and ask specifically for you.
Okay. The last question, and they will take tea as well. So
Yep,
they will
yep.
continue their questions. Yes, brothers, take your tea. Salim?
All right. Thank you.
पहले पूछा तो कि पहले हम मीटर में किस तरह घुसाए मीटर का जल मैं पूछ रहा था So this certificate you bring if you go to the standard, they will have a British mark, BSI. Your windows are separate, so you got a British windows. So that's what you you got a full radiator which use gas, which is good. You could upgrade this one. Probably change. Okay, so this certificate using gas. So this one is this done? Tuesday. So you could get somebody who said it's a council, we're going to be doing an association. In 2028, I think the next one is due. You could, because you've got an option because it's good, but they can make it. You have to go. Go to Google and I think EPC. Yes, so thank you. Your hot water is good, the lighting is very good. They haven't graded your
Oh, you can use all. Yeah, you could get installation, but you got at the minute, it's not available, and then you got no secondary heating, so when they visit your home, you wasn't using any looking here like a radiator, you want to that's how much heating. If you do change the way you recycle, you have to use it. I don't know what kind of product you have. Fixed time. So you could say put there's yes, if you just sometimes it charges penalty, sometimes there's no penalty you can change. So go on to, comparison and put it in there. And what do you profit? Exit fee, normally it's only £60. And if you say with a rough fund, you want to just pay an exit fee, you still make exit. So this is there, and then he makes the recommendations for the EPC. So we tell you the energy lighting. You could make, so all of you like with LED, you change them, so they haven't captured this, so they say yes, LED, they recommend that you have solar heating, wood heating, yeah, if you want to share it, it says it's not working. Because you pay £4,000, you say £20, we would like to use it, you beat a lot more, and then you get a solar light, it will cost you £5,000. You say that there's no funding at the minute, but if funding comes for this much, we want to put in incentives to do sometimes they do at the minute, no. But if they do, then you can check and then you can say that you can balance it with so those are just already recommendations. EPC does everything. So anyone who needs to know, just go to EPC. If you have a question, just go online and you get a knock on the door and they say you're eligible. Say, come, happy. Do EPC for me for the gym. Yeah, so you pay yourself £60. If you they will have to yes, you get to that's it. The HSF fund. I don't no, or you could call me and